Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are in Psalms chapter 3 and welcome to book 3 of Psalms. So Psalms is broken up into five major books. First book is chapters 1 through 41. The second one is 42 through 72. And now we're into book 3, which starts with chapter 73. And this one it's going to be a long one. I have lots of notes. So this is the story of Asphar or Asfen. We're going to go with Asphar because I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. So basically, this is the story of Asphar. And it's basically him talking about the sinners. So we're talking a lot about sinners. Definition of a sinner is somebody who does not believe in God, who does not know anything, who has pride, who finds joy and happiness in bad stuff that is not coming from somebody that is righteous. So verse 6 says the wicked is filled with pride. So that I just said pride. So pride is being proud. There's many different things, and I'm still trying to figure out what the true definition of pride is, but who knows? Verse 10 says the evil finds no wrongs in pride. So the evil people think they're right, and the sinners and stuff. Well, if you're a true believer and you have read the Bible and studied it, which hopefully you have, or if not, I'm here to help you understand it. I am not a Bible scholar. I have not gone to any biblical school. I did go to a private Christian school my sophomore year, and I'm not a pastor, but I'm just doing what I have done my research on. So, yeah. Asphar in verse 22, verse 10 through 2 says, the wicked are okay. Let me know. Ignore what I just said. 12 through 14 says believers keep their hearts clean, which is 100% true. And Asphar in verse 22 says, before Christ, I was stupid and ignorant. I was stupid and ignorant too before I found Christ. And sometimes I have regrets about not coming to Christ sooner. But I'm like, if God called me to Christ sooner, it was because of him, because he thinks I was ready. And when he called me to Christ, I think I was most definitely ready at that time. So basically, let's get into the notes from my commentary. So it's a plea for God to restore his present to his covenant he created. Basically, the author, Asphar, is asking God to help revive and rebirth the covenant. We have to defend our faith because people want to force what they believe on you. So every day we have to defend what we believe because we know it's the truth. There are a small group of people who remain true to their faith. It is very, very common for a lot of Christians who grow up in the church go astray. There are some people who I know who grew up and are still in it. It's really hard, but I'm lucky that I came at the time that I came. Okay. So here's what I've read yesterday on this chapter. This is why I've added it, and took a while for me to film this one. So basically, we're just gonna call him Asphar, okay, says they are wealthy and had no struggles in eternal life or death. They were proud of their wealth and situation in life, and they wear that pride with jewelry. So he's basically talking about the sinners and the evil-minded people. Here's another thing that I found interesting. They use violence to get their wealth and wear the violence like rich men. Like an overflowing river, their hard hearts and evil minds produce endless ideas of getting richer, and the frequently spell words oppose against the Lord in heaven. So basically, right here, he's saying they use violence to get rich. So like back in the time, animals were valuable, food was valuable, like jewelry, gems, anything that you can think of back then were really valuable, and the sinners did not know how to get it the correct way, I would say. They tended to force their way through and do it on the sinful way, we're gonna say. So yeah. The next one that I have is, but the greatest tragedy is that many of God's people don't seem to know any better but follow their bad examples and enjoy their friendship. So there were back then believers who were following God, who were totally, like, I wouldn't say a perfect Christian because there is no such thing as a perfect Christian, because we cannot be perfect. The only person that's perfect is Jesus Christ. He never sinned. We sin every single day. So basically, we're going to call the most, let's say, a believer who is very righteous and they're following. We're being friends with these sinners and they didn't know right from wrong. So basically, they were two-faced. That's the perfect word. They were one way with God and perfect and everything, praising God, everything, all that, going to church, reading the Bible. And then when they were with these sinners, they were doing what the sinners wanted to do and they didn't know better. And it's hard for most Christians to distinguish what is good and bad and how they can keep their, not distinguish, but how they can keep their faith in both situations. It is not wrong to have friends that are not believers. We all do, and that's okay. Some of my best friends are non-believers, which I don't have a problem. Like, they respect my beliefs, I respect their beliefs, and we get along. And it's also a way that I can annoy them with Harry Potter. Sorry, I'm a Snape addict. Anyways, so back then they didn't know right or wrong. So here's what I feel like a true, powerful, biblical definition of what a true Christian is. We don't serve God because what we get out of it, but because he is worthy of our worship and service regardless of what you allow to come into our lives. A true Christian is not, basically Christianity is not about religion, it's about relationships. And it's about your relationship with God. So I think that is pretty much a good definition of a Christian. And I'm gonna highlight it, and I'm actually gonna put that as something on my Pinterest. And the next part is Satan has a commercial view of life, of faith, and encourage us to serve God for what we get out of it. So the sinners only want a relationship with God to get stuff. They're greedy, they're needy, they want this. They're not obedient like true Christians who want a relationship with God. Asphir pauses to consider the consequences. How would the younger believers in the land respond if one of the three sanctuary worship leaders turned his back on the covenant and the faith? So basically, he decided to go to one of the holy temples to worship with God and speak with God to see like how he could be better at it. So before this right here is a lesson that I think we need to learn, is where he basically prayed to God, went to him before making any decisions. And I think that is 100% powerful, because you shouldn't make any decisions before praying about it. And I'm learning it the hard way, and I'm gonna be doing that, and I have been doing that, but still, it's a lot to remember. So after Asphir spent his time with the Lord, he had a new perspective on the problem and how he was going to go and tell the younger believers about the Lord. So praying and being in worship and in the Bible really helped him in the end. And I'm sorry, I have the hiccups. But anyways, this was probably one of my favorite chapters to read and do notes on, so I'm very, very happy. Before I end the video, I do want to let you guys know I am starting my Psalm series on my Pinterest starting March 1st. I will be uploading all the notes from my series on there so you can get everything, and plus there will be bonus notes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.